The scent of fear sweat and wood smoke clings to my skin as I press myself against the cold stone wall of the shifting arena. Around me, the Silvercrest pack gathers in the torchlight, their excited murmurs rising like steam into the October night. I can smell their anticipation, sharp and metallic, like copper pennies on the tongue. Tonight is the autumn shift, the night when every wolf who's come of age must transform before the pack, proving their place in the hierarchy. I am 23 years old, and I have never shifted. Elara Thorn, Alpha Cassius calls out, his voice carrying across the arena. My name sounds like an accusation in his mouth. Step forward! My legs move before I can think to refuse. The crowd parts, and I feel their eyes on me, some pitying, most contemptuous. I've been called the Hollow Wolf for 5 years now, ever since my 18th birthday, when my first shift should have come. My younger sister Maya stands in the front row, her amber eyes soft with worry. She shifted perfectly at 18. Beautiful, powerful, everything I'm not. The arena floor is packed dirt, still churned from the previous shifters. I can smell their wolves, pine and musk and wild things. My own scent is muted, barely there, broken. 5th year, Cassius announces, circling me slowly. He's a massive man, all muscle and authority, with silver threading through his dark hair. 5 full moons, 5 failures. He stops in front of me, and I force myself to meet his grey eyes. Tell the pack, Elara. What excuse do you have tonight? My throat tightens. I've given them all before. I can feel her. My wolf. She's there, I swear it. She just won't come forward? Cassius's lip curls. Or doesn't exist, the crowd murmurs. Someone laughs. Bradley, probably, who used to pull my hair when we were children, and now looks at me like I'm something stuck to his shoe. Perhaps the Thorn bloodline has finally weakened, Cassius continues, voice carrying to every corner. Your mother was Omega. Your father a Beta who died defending a failed position. Weak blood breeds weak wolves. Rage flares hot in my chest, but I swallow it down. Rage won't help. Nothing helps. One more chance, Cassius says, stepping back. Shift, Elara Thorn, or accept your place as packless, human. The word lands like a physical blow. Packless. It means exile. It means wandering until some other pack picks you up. If they pick you up at all. Most packless wolves don't survive their first winter alone. I close my eyes and reach inward, searching for the presence I've felt since childhood. She's there. My wolf. I can sense her like a shadow behind glass, pressing against the barrier I can't breach. I beg her silently, please, please, not tonight. Help me. Nothing. The minutes stretch. My skin remains stubbornly human. The crowd's energy shifts from anticipation to boredom to disgust. Enough. Cassius's voice is final. Elara Thorn, you are hereby. A howl cuts through the night. It's not from the arena. It comes from the forest beyond, deep and resonant, carrying a power that makes every wolf present freeze. The sound rolls through me like thunder, and for a moment, just a heartbeat, I feel my wolf surge forward, desperate and yearning. Then she retreats, and I'm left gasping. The Shadow King, someone whispers. The name ripples through the crowd. Alpha King Kieran Blackthorn, ruler of the Northern Territories, descended from the first shifters, cursed by the moon goddess herself. They say he hasn't taken a mate in 300 years. They say he kills challengers with his bare hands. They say he can track a wolf's scent across 100 miles and that his eyes glow silver even in human form. They say a lot of things. What I know is that Cassius has gone pale, and the cockiness has drained from his posture. "He's here," Cassius mutters. "Why is he here?" The question hangs in the air as footsteps approach the arena, heavy, measured. The crowd parts like water, and then I see him. Alpha King Kieran Blackthorn is taller than any man I've ever seen, with broad shoulders draped in a black fur cloak that seems to drink in the torchlight. His hair is dark as midnight, falling to his shoulders, and his face is all sharp angles and brutal beauty. But it's his eyes that steal my breath, silver, just like the stories say, luminous and ancient and fixed directly on me. He stops at the edge of the arena. The air pressure seems to change around him, heavy with dominance that makes every wolf instinctively want to bow. Except me. I can't move at all. "Alpha Cassius." Kieran's voice is deep, with a slight rasp that sends shivers down my spine. "I received your petition for territorial expansion." His gaze never leaves me. "I came to evaluate your pack's strength." "Of course, my lord." Cassius bows low. "You honour us with your presence. We were just conducting our autumn ceremonies." "I can see that." Kieran steps into the arena, moving with a predator's grace. He's close enough now that I can smell him. Pine and winter air, and something else. Something that makes my wolf throw herself against my ribs hard enough to hurt. This wolf, why hasn't she shifted? My face burns. Of course, the first thing the Shadow King sees is my failure. "She's defective," Cassius says dismissively. "We were just about to..." "I asked her." Kieran's tone drops, carrying a threat that makes Cassius snap his mouth shut. Those silver eyes pin me in place. "Tell me, little wolf, why haven't you shifted?" "I don't know," I whisper. My voice sounds small and broken. I can feel her, but she won't come. I've tried everything. Meditation, forced shifts, even bloodbane tea to lower my inhibitions. Nothing works. Kieran is silent for a long moment, studying me with an intensity that makes me want to either run or step closer. I can't decide which. Then he does something that stops my heart. He kneels. The Alpha King kneels in the dirt before me, bringing those impossible silver eyes level with mine. This close, I can see flecks of blue in them, like ice catching light. "When is the next blood moon?" he asks quietly. The question is so unexpected that I blink. "Not for another 2 months, December 21st. Something flashes across his face. Recognition, maybe, or understanding. He rises smoothly, turning to Cassius. "This wolf comes with me!" Act 2. The impossible meeting chaos erupts. "My lord, she's packless!" Cassius sputters. "She has no value! She's my sister!" Maya pushes through the crowd, her face fierce. "You can't just take her!" Kieran's attention shifts to Maya, and I see my sister visibly steel herself against the weight of his dominance. "Your sister," he says slowly, "will be safer with me than she is here." His gaze moves back to Cassius. "Unless you'd like to argue with me about it?" The threat in those words is unmistakable. Cassius's jaw works, but he bows his head. "Of course not, my lord. Whatever you wish." I find my voice. "I don't understand. Why would you want me?" Kieran extends his hand. It's large and scarred, with silver rings on 3 fingers. "Come, Elara Thorn. I'll explain on the road." I stare at his hand like it might bite me. Every instinct screams that this is dangerous, that going with the Shadow King is madness. But the alternative is exile. And there's something else, something in the way he looks at me, like he sees past my broken surface to something underneath. My wolf surges forward again, pressing hard against my skin. Yes, she seems to say. Him. I place my hand in his. His fingers close around mine, warm and sure, and the world tilts. A shock runs through me, not painful, but intense, like touching lightning. I gasp, and I see his eyes widen fractionally. He felt it too. Interesting, he murmurs, so low only I can hear. He doesn't release my hand as he turns to face the pack. Alpha Cassius, I'll return in 2 months to evaluate your expansion request. Until then, keep your borders secure. His grip on my hand tightens slightly. No one is to follow us. Is that understood? Perfectly, my lord. Maya rushes forward, grabbing my other hand. Ellie, are you sure about this? I'm not sure about anything, but I nod. I'll be okay. I hope I'm not lying. She hugs me fiercely, pressing something small into my palm. When she pulls back, I see it's our mother's moonstone pendant, the one she always wore, that was supposed to bring luck. Come back to me, Maya whispers. I will. Kieran leads me from the arena, through the stunned crowd, and into the darkness beyond. He has horses waiting, massive black stallions that stamp and toss their heads. He lifts me onto one as if I weigh nothing, then mounts behind me, his arms coming around to grip the reins. His chest is solid against my back, and I'm drowning in his scent. We ride in silence through the forest, leaving Silvercrest territory behind. The night air is cold against my face, and the horse's movements beneath us create a rhythm that should be soothing, but only makes me more aware of every point where his body touches mine. Finally, when we're miles from anywhere, he slows the horse to a walk. You can ask, he says, his voice rumbling through his chest into my spine. Ask what? All the questions I can hear you not asking. I take a breath. Why did you take me? Why do you care if I can't shift? You can shift. He says it with absolute certainty. You've just never been given the right conditions. I've tried every full moon since I turned 18. Full moons. He sounds almost amused. Of course, because that's what everyone does. He's quiet for a moment, and then, tell me about your mother. The change in subject throws me. She died when I was 12. Fever? Why? Was she Omega? Yes, but she was strong. She led the pack's healing circle, knew more about herbs than anyone. People respected her. And your father? Beta. Died in a territorial skirmish when I was 16. The grief is old now, worn smooth by time. Why does this matter? Kieran brings the horse to a complete stop. He dismounts, then helps me down, his hands firm on my waist. We're in a small clearing, moonlight filtering through the trees. Regular moonlight, pale and silver, not the deep red of a blood moon. Your mother was more than Omega, Kieran says, studying my face. She was moon-touched, wasn't she? My breath catches. Moon-touched wolves are rare, born maybe once in a generation. They have powers beyond normal shifters, healing, prophecy, sometimes the ability to commune with the moon goddess herself. How did you know? Because you are too. He reaches out slowly, giving me time to pull away, and touches the pendant Maya gave me. This was hers. It's not just moonstone. It's blessed moonstone, charged under a blood moon. His silver eyes meet mine. You're not broken, Elara. You're something the packs have forgotten how to recognize. You're a blood moon wolf. The words settle over me like snow, cold and shocking. That's not possible. Blood moon wolves are just legends, stories. Stories have roots in truth. His hand is still at my throat, fingers warm against the chain of the pendant. Every 50 years or so, one is born. They can only shift under the blood moon, but when they do, their power eclipses that of any alpha. He pauses. The last blood moon wolf was my sister, 300 years ago. The grief in his voice is so raw, it makes my chest ache. What happened to her? She was murdered by wolves who feared her power, by my own council, who saw her as a threat. His jaw tightens. I've spent 3 centuries making sure it never happens again, hunting for signs of another blood moon wolf, and tonight I found you. I should be terrified. This strange Alpha King is claiming I'm some kind of mythical creature, speaking of centuries like they're years, but instead, all I feel is hope, fragile and fierce. If I'm truly blood moon, I say carefully, then I won't be able to shift for 2 more months. How can you be sure? Kieran's lips curve into something that's almost a smile. I'm sure because the mate bond doesn't lie. My heart stops. What? You felt it when you took my hand. He steps closer, and I can feel the heat rolling off him. The shock, the recognition. Your wolf knows me, Elara, just as mine knows you. I can't finish the sentence, can't process what he's saying. Impossible? He reaches up, and this time he cups my face in both hands, tilting it up to his. I've waited 300 years for you. I felt you the moment I crossed into Silvercrest territory, your scent on the wind, like moonlight and thunderstorms. I came to that arena because my wolf was clawing at my chest to get to you. I'm trembling. You're saying I'm your mate? Yes. But you don't even know me. Then I have 2 months to learn. His thumb brushes my cheekbone, and I feel that electric shock again. Unless you want to return to your pack, I won't force this, Elara. The choice is yours. I think of Cassius's sneer, Bradley's laughter, 5 years of being called the Hollow Wolf, of feeling like a failure every time the moon rose full and bright. And I think of this strange, intense man who looks at me like I'm precious, like I'm powerful. My wolf surges forward again, and this time I swear I hear her voice. Ours. I'll go with you, I whisper. Kieran's eyes flash brighter, silver catching the moonlight. Then let's get you home. Act 3. The hidden truth revealed. Kieran's home is a fortress carved into the mountainside itself. Obsidian's Citadel, he calls it. A sprawling complex of black stone towers and courtyards with peaks that pierce the clouds. We arrive at dawn, and the rising sun turns the walls crimson. Welcome to your new home, little wolf, Kieran says, helping me from the horse. Your new home. The words should feel presumptuous, but instead they settle warm in my chest. A woman emerges from the main entrance, tall and elegant, with grey-streaked auburn hair and sharp green eyes. My lord, she says, bowing slightly. Then her gaze shifts to me, and surprise flickers across her face. And who is this? My mate, Kieran says simply. Elara, this is Vera, my head of household, and the closest thing I have to family. Vera's eyes widen. Then, to my shock, she drops into a deep curtsy. My lady, we've waited so long. I flounder, looking to Kieran for help. You're my acknowledged mate, he says firmly. That makes you Luna of the Northern Territories, whether you've shifted or not. His hand finds the small of my back, steadying. Vera, please prepare the Luna's chambers and bring the library records on Blood Moon Wolves. Vera's composure cracks again. Blood Moon? Goddess above, my lord. Are you certain? Completely. She recovers quickly, nodding. Of course. I'll have everything ready within the hour. She turns to me with warmth in her eyes. You must be exhausted, my lady. Let me show you to your rooms. My rooms are more like a suite, a sitting area with deep chairs arranged before a massive fireplace, a bedroom with a 4-poster bed large enough for 4 people, and a bathing room with a tub carved from a single piece of marble. Windows look out over mountains that seem to stretch forever. I'll have a bath drawn and food sent up, Vera says. You'll find clothes in the wardrobe. If you need anything, pull the bell cord. When she leaves, I sink onto the edge of the bed, overwhelmed. 24 hours ago, I was the broken wolf of Silvercrest. Now I'm supposedly the mate of an Alpha King, living in a fortress, being called Luna. It's too much, too fast. I move to the window, pressing my palms against the cold glass. The mountains are beautiful, savage and wild, with snow on the highest peaks. I wonder if Maya is okay, if she's worried about me. A knock interrupts my thoughts. Come in, I call. It's not Vera. It's Kieran carrying a tray with bread, cheese and fruit. I thought you might be hungry, he says, and I didn't think you'd want to face the entire household just yet. The consideration touches me. Thank you. He sets the tray on a small table, then hesitates. May I stay? I have the library records, and I thought, but if you need space... Stay, I say quickly. Too quickly. But I don't want to be alone with my spinning thoughts. Kieran settles into one of the chairs, and I take the other. The food is good, the bread still warm, the cheese sharp. I eat while he opens a massive leather-bound book, its pages yellowed with age. Blood Moon Wolves appear in our history every 40 to 70 years, he begins, reading. They're always Omega-born, always from moon-touched bloodlines. Their power lies dormant until the first blood moon after their 18th birthday. He looks up. When was your 18th birthday? March 15th. And the blood moon after that? I think back. June. But I was in mourning. My father had just died. Cassius didn't even let me attend the pack shift that night. Said I needed to grieve privately. Kieran's expression darkens. He prevented you from shifting. Intentionally. The realization hits like a fist. He knew. Cassius knew what I was. Or suspected enough to be cautious. Kieran leans forward, intensity radiating from him. Blood Moon Wolves are powerful, Elara. Strong enough to challenge any alpha. Cassius would have seen you as a threat to his position. So he just let me suffer? Let everyone call me broken? Anger builds hot in my throat. 5 years. 5 years of humiliation. I'm sorry. Kieran's voice is soft. If I'd known you existed sooner. You can't protect everyone. I take a shaky breath. What else does it say? He returns to the book. Blood Moon Wolves bond with their mates before first shift. The bond is intense, all-consuming. It's theorized that the mate bond helps stabilize their power. He pauses, and when he speaks again, his voice is careful. Once bonded and shifted, Blood Moon Wolves live as long as their mates. And Blood Moon Wolves mated to Alpha Kings. Live for centuries, I finish, understanding flooding through me. Like your sister did. She was mated to an Alpha from the Eastern Territories. They had 200 years together before. He closes the book gently. Before she was killed, he died within days. They say he simply stopped fighting to stay alive. The grief in the room is palpable. I reach across the space between us, covering his scarred hand with mine. I'm sorry. Kieran turns his palm up, lacing our fingers together. The contact sends warmth through me, soothing and electric all at once. She would have liked you, he says quietly. She was fierce too, soft-hearted but unbreakable when it mattered. We sit in silence for a while, hands joined, watching fire dance in the hearth. Kieran, I say eventually, what did Vera mean when she said you'd waited so long? His jaw tightens. After my sister died, the moon goddess appeared to me. She said she'd cursed me, that I would live unable to die, unable to find peace, until another blood moon wolf was born and found their way to me. He meets my eyes. 300 years, Elara. 300 years of watching everyone I care about age and die while I remained unchanged. Of knowing my mate existed somewhere in the future, but being powerless to find her sooner. My chest constricts. That's cruel. The goddess doesn't deal in kindness. She deals in balance. His thumb strokes over my knuckles. I failed to protect my sister, so I was given centuries to perfect that protection, to build power and alliances, to be ready for you. The weight of his words settles over me. 300 years of loneliness, of waiting, and I'm supposedly the end of that wait, the broken wolf who can't even shift. What if I'm not what she intended? I ask quietly. What if I fail? Kieran stands, bringing me up with him. He's so close, I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. You won't fail, he says with absolute certainty, because you're not alone anymore. You have me. You have this pack. And in 2 months, when that blood moon rises, you'll shift, and everyone who ever called you broken will see exactly how wrong they were. He cups my face in his hands again, and I find myself leaning into the touch. I don't expect you to love me yet, he says softly. I don't even expect you to trust me completely. But I need you to believe me when I say this. You are the most important thing in my very long life, and I will move mountains to keep you safe. My wolf is practically purring, pressing against my ribs, and for the first time in 5 years, I don't feel broken. I feel anticipated, like I've been holding my breath and can finally exhale. I believe you, I whisper. Kieran's eyes flash silver, and he leans down slowly, giving me time to pull away, to refuse, but I don't want to. When his lips brush mine, soft and seeking, it feels like coming home. The kiss is gentle at first, testing. Then heat flares between us, and his hands slide into my hair while mine fist in his shirt. He tastes like winter and wild things, and I can't get enough. My wolf howls inside me, joyful and fierce, and I swear I feel her closer to the surface than she's ever been. When we break apart, we're both breathing hard. Kieran rests his forehead against mine. Elara, he says roughly, I need to tell you something. What? The blood moon is 2 months away, but there's another way to trigger your shift sooner. My pulse quickens. How? He pulls back slightly, conflict clear on his face. Blood moon wolves shift under the blood moon because of the moon's power combined with lunar-charged blood. But if enough powerful blood is shed under moonlight, any moonlight, it can create similar conditions. He pauses. I could bleed myself. Enough blood to soak the ground. Under the full moon, it might be enough to call your wolf forward. Horror and hope war in my chest. You're talking about bleeding yourself half to death. I'll heal, one of the few benefits of my curse. Kieran, no, I won't let you hurt yourself for me. It's not for you alone. His voice is fierce. Every day you don't shift, you're vulnerable. Anyone who figures out what you are will see you as a threat, or worse, an opportunity. You need your wolf's protection. You need your power. In 2 months, 2 months is a lifetime when you're this exposed. He grips my shoulders gently. Please, Elara, let me do this. Let me give you this gift. I search his face, seeing the determination there, the fear underneath it. He's terrified something will happen to me before I can defend myself. And the truth is, he's right. I am vulnerable. Any wolf from any pack could challenge me, hurt me, and I'd have no defense, no way to protect myself. My mother's words echo in memory. Sometimes the bravest thing is accepting help. When? I ask. Relief floods his expression. Tonight, the moon is waxing gibbous, strong enough, and I have everything we need. Everything we need? A ghost of a smile. I've been planning this for 300 years, little wolf. Trust me. And strangely, impossibly, I do. Act 4. The deepening bond. We spend the day in preparation. Vera provides me with clothes suitable for the ritual. A simple white dress that reminds me of the old ceremonies my mother used to perform. Kieran sends word to his inner circle that he's not to be disturbed, posting guards at the forest boundary where we'll conduct the ritual. Late afternoon, I find him in the Citadel's training yard, shirtless and moving through sword forms with lethal grace. Sweat gleams on his skin, and I watch the play of muscles beneath, transfixed. He catches me staring and grins, the first genuine smile I've seen from him. See something you like, Luna? Heat floods my face. I came to ask if there's anything I should do to prepare. Kieran sets down the sword and crosses to me, still radiating heat from the workout. Clear your mind, he says. Open yourself to your wolf. Let her know what's coming. His hand rises to brush a strand of hair from my face. And don't be afraid. Pain might come, but transformation always does. Will it hurt you? The bleeding? Yes. He says it simply, without flinching. But I've endured worse. I think of 300 years alone. He probably has. Can I watch you train? I ask impulsively. I've never seen anyone move like that. Something pleased crosses his face. Of course. He returns to the forms, and I settle onto a bench, mesmerised. Kieran fights like water, fluid and inevitable, each movement flowing into the next. There's beauty in it, and terror too. I can imagine him in battle, unstoppable. Your father taught you to fight? He asks between forms. Some. Basic defence. I hesitate. I wasn't very good. Without my wolf, your wolf will make you formidable. He executes a spinning strike that would decapitate an opponent. But strength isn't just physical. Your mother's healing gift, do you have it? I don't know. I never tried. Couldn't exactly practice without shifting. Healing often manifests in human form first. He sets down the sword again, approaching. Give me your hand. I do, and he pulls a knife from his belt, dragging it across his palm. Blood wells, dark and rich. I gasp, but he just holds his bleeding hand toward me. Try, he says softly. Think of knitting flesh back together. Think of wholeness. I place my hand over his, feeling the warm slick of blood. I close my eyes and reach for that place inside where my wolf waits. Please, I think, help him. Heat builds in my palm, gentle at first, then stronger. Kieran sucks in a breath, and when I open my eyes, his cut is sealing before me. The skin knits together slowly until only clean blood remains as evidence of the wound. You healed me, he breathes, wonder in his voice. Goddess Elara, you healed me. I stare at my own hand, amazed. I've never been able to do that before. Because you've never been around your mate before. He brings my hand to his lips, kissing the palm where his blood still lingers. The bond amplifies everything. Your power, your instincts. His eyes meet mine, intense. Your desires. The word hangs between us, heavy with implication. Kieran, I whisper. He pulls me closer until I'm pressed against his chest, heart thundering against my ear. I know it's fast, he murmurs into my hair. I know you need time, but gods, Elara, when I'm near you, it takes everything I have not to what? He pulls back enough to meet my eyes. Not to claim you properly, to mark you as mine, to complete the bond. His hand cups my neck, thumb stroking over my pulse. But you're not ready, and I won't rush you. The thing is, I'm not sure he's wrong about me not being ready. This is all so overwhelming. But I also know that the pull between us is real and powerful, and resisting it feels like fighting gravity. What if, I say carefully, we took it slow, got to know each other? I'm not saying no forever. I'm just saying, not yet. Relief and something like pain cross his face. Of course, whatever you need. He steps back, giving me space, and I immediately miss his warmth. Tonight is about your shift, nothing more, I promise. We spend the evening in his study, and he tells me about his life, about growing up in an age where shifters were gods among humans, about watching the world change, about the loneliness of immortality. I tell him about my childhood, about my mother's herb garden and my sister's fierce loyalty, about the ache of being different. By the time Vera comes to collect us for the ritual, I feel like I know him, really know him, and the knowing makes me want him more, not less. Act 5. The Betrayal Crisis. The clearing Kieran chose sits at the highest point of his territory, with an unobstructed view of the sky. The moon is massive tonight, nearly full, bathing everything in silver light. He's arranged a circle of stones in ancient patterns, with sigils carved into the earth. Stand in the centre, Kieran instructs, his voice formal now, ritualistic. Don't leave the circle, no matter what happens. I step into the space between the stones, feeling power prickle across my skin. The air here is different, charged, like before a storm. Kieran begins walking the circle's perimeter, speaking words in a language I don't recognise. Old language, probably, the tongue shifters used before humans learned to write. The moonlight seems to brighten with each word, until the clearing glows. Then he stops at the northern point and draws his knife. Kieran! I start, fear spiking. Trust me, he says. Then he drags the blade across his forearm. Deep. Blood pours out, thick and dark, pooling on the ground. He moves to the eastern point and cuts again, then south, then west. By the time he completes the circle, he's deathly pale, swaying on his feet. Stop! I cry. That's enough! But he doesn't stop. He returns to the northern point and cuts deeper this time, going to his knees. The blood spreads, soaking into the earth, and the sigils begin to glow with red light. The air shifts. Reality seems to thin, and I feel my wolf surge forward, closer than she's ever been. She's pressing against my skin from the inside, desperate to break free. Pain lances through me as bones begin to shift. Then everything goes wrong. A howl rips through the night, but it's not mine. It's a challenge, an attack. Wolves burst from the tree line, 5 of them, all massive, all moving with coordinated precision. They're targeting Kieran, who's weakened and bleeding, barely able to defend himself. Horror floods through me. This is an ambush. Someone knew we'd be here. Someone wanted us vulnerable. Kieran shifts, his wolf massive and black as midnight, but he's slow, weak from blood loss. The attacking wolves swarm him, teeth flashing. "No!" I scream. I try to shift, try to help, but my wolf is stuck halfway, bones grinding, skin splitting, agony burning through every nerve. I'm trapped between forms, useless. One of the wolves breaks from the pack, heading straight for me. It's Bradley. I recognize his brown coat, his cruel eyes even in wolf form. He's always hated me, but this is beyond hate. This is murder. He leaps for my throat. A silver wolf intercepts him. Vera, I realize with shock. She's older, smaller, but she fights with desperate ferocity, keeping Bradley away from me. But there are too many. Kieran is being torn apart, his blood mixing with the blood he shed for the ritual. Vera is faltering against Bradley's strength, and I'm screaming, caught halfway between human and wolf, completely helpless. Then I smell it, smell him. Cassius. He emerges from the trees in human form, dressed for hunting. "Poor little hollow wolf," he calls mockingly. "Did you really think the Shadow King wanted you for your winning personality?" He approaches the circle's edge, careful not to cross it. "He wanted your power. Once you shifted, he was going to drain it from you, use it to expand his territory." "That's a lie," I spit. "Is it?" Cassius tilts his head. "Or did he just tell you what you wanted to hear? That you're special, powerful, his mate?" He laughs. "Blood moon wolves are weapons, girl, and Alpha Kings collect weapons." Doubt worms into my mind. Kieran appeared so suddenly, knew exactly what I was, took me away from everything I knew. What if? No. My wolf's voice rings clear for the first time ever. He is ours. He is truth. Fight. But I don't know how. I'm still trapped, still broken. Cassius signals his wolves. "Kill them both. Make it look like a territorial dispute gone wrong. No one will question the Shadow King's death if his mate dies with him." This is it. This is how I die. Stuck between forms, unable to protect the mate I've only just found, proving everyone right about how weak I am. Then Kieran's voice cuts through the chaos, ragged but fierce. "Elara! The blood! Lie in the blood!" Understanding strikes like lightning. His blood, soaked into the earth, charged with ritual and moonlight. I throw myself to the ground, pressing my half-shifted body into the blood-soaked soil. Power explodes through me. Act 6. The Dark Night. The transformation is agony and ecstasy mixed. My bones crack and reform, faster and more violent than any natural shift. My skin splits and fur erupts. My senses explode outward. I can smell everything, hear the heartbeat of every wolf in the clearing, taste their fear on the air. When the shift completes, I'm not like other wolves. I'm massive, larger than Kieran, maybe larger than any shifter I've ever seen. My fur is pure white, but when the moonlight hits it, red streaks shimmer through like bloodstains. My eyes I can see my reflection in a wolf's terrified gaze glow crimson. I am blood moon risen. I am power incarnate, and I am furious. I move faster than thought, closing the distance to Bradley in a heartbeat. He tries to run, but I'm on him, jaws closing around his throat. Not to kill, though I could. To dominate. To show him exactly what he called broken. He whimpers, going limp in submission. I release him and turn to the others. 2 more of Cassius's wolves are still attacking Kieran, but when they see me, they freeze. 1 turns to run. I howl, a sound that shakes the earth, that carries 300 years of waiting and 5 years of humiliation and every ounce of righteous rage I possess. Both wolves drop flat, bellies to the ground, throats exposed. Vera shifts back to human form, bleeding but alive. "My Luna," she breathes, awe in her voice. Kieran extracts himself from the remaining attackers, limping but whole enough. He shifts back too, and despite his wounds, his eyes are blazing with pride and something hotter. "Elara," he says roughly, "you're magnificent." I turn to Cassius, who's backed against a tree, all his confidence drained. I shift back to human. It's effortless now, like slipping between silk sheets. I'm naked, covered in blood and dirt, but I've never felt more powerful. "You tried to kill me," I say, my voice echoing with something otherworldly. My wolf is right there, just beneath the surface, ready. "You tried to kill my mate. Give me one reason why I shouldn't tear you apart." "Mercy," Cassius gasps. I'll leave. Renounce my alpha position. You'll never see me again." "Not good enough." Kieran's hand finds my shoulder, steady and warm. "He's not worth your first kill," he murmurs. "But he does need to answer for this, publicly." I meet his silver eyes and see trust there, understanding. He's not trying to control me or save me. He's giving me a choice. I look back at Cassius. "You're going to return to Silvercrest. You're going to tell them exactly what you did, how you prevented my first shift, how you tried to murder your Luna." I step closer, letting my eyes flash red. "And then you're going to step down and let a new alpha rise. Someone worthy." "They'll kill me," Cassius whispers. "Then maybe you should have thought of that before you tried to kill me." I turn away from him, dismissing him. "Vera, can you handle the prisoners?" "With pleasure, my lady." As Vera begins organising the captured wolves, Kieran pulls me aside. His wounds are already healing, but he's still weak. "You saved us," he says softly. "You saved me. You bled yourself half to death for me. It seemed only fair." His laugh is rough. "Fair? God's woman, you're perfect." He cups my face, and despite the blood and chaos around us, this moment feels sacred. "I was terrified I'd lose you before you ever really became mine." "I am yours," I tell him, the truth of it settling deep in my bones. "The bond, Kieran, I feel it completely now, like a golden thread connecting us. You're my mate. And you're mine." He kisses me then, fierce and claiming, and my wolf rises to meet his, 2 halves of one whole finally joined. When we break apart, I realise dawn is breaking. The blood moon ritual is over, and I'm no longer the hollow wolf. I'm Luna. I'm powerful. I'm exactly who I was always meant to be. "Come on," Kieran says, taking my hand. "Let's go home." A-Seat 7, the battle confrontation. Word spreads fast in the shifter world. Within days, every pack in the Northern Territories knows that the Shadow King found his mate, and that she's a blood moon wolf. Most send congratulations, some send gifts, but one pack sends a threat. "The Crimson Brotherhood wants to meet," Vera announces, her expression grim. "They claim they have concerns about a blood moon wolf rising to power." Kieran's jaw tightens. "The Brotherhood, of course." He looks at me. "They're the same group who killed my sister. They believe blood moon wolves upset the natural order." Anger flares hot in my chest. Let them come. I'm not afraid. "They won't come here. They want neutral ground." Vera hands him a letter. "The old meeting stones, 3 days from now." Kieran reads the letter, his expression darkening. "They want to challenge your right to be Luna, a trial by combat." My wolf rises, eager. "Then I'll fight." "It won't be fair combat," Kieran warns. "They'll bring their strongest fighters, stack the deck against you." "I don't care." I stand straighter. "If I don't face them now, they'll always be a threat. Better to end this before it festers." He studies me for a long moment, then nods. "Then we prepare, and I'll be right beside you." The next 3 days are intense training. Kieran teaches me to use my size and power effectively, how to read an opponent's tells, how to end a fight quickly. Vera provides intel on the Brotherhood's fighters, their strengths, their weaknesses. Maya arrives on the second day, having heard the news. She tackles me in a hug that nearly knocks us both over. "You shifted! Ellie, you're amazing!" "I'm terrified," I admit. "You're also the strongest wolf I've ever seen." She pulls back, grinning. "And you're mated to the Shadow King. That's pretty incredible." "How's Silvercrest?" Her expression sobers. "Cassius stepped down like you demanded. Bradley and his friends are banished. There's a new Alpha now, Elder Sarah. She's good, fair." She squeezes my hand. "Everything's changing, Ellie, because of you." The responsibility of that settles on my shoulders. I'm not just fighting for myself anymore. I'm fighting for every Omega who's been dismissed, every wolf who's been called broken. On the morning of the challenge, I dress in armour Vera provides, leather reinforced with steel, designed for mobility. Kieran wears his battle gear, looking every inch the king he is. "Whatever happens," he says, as we ride towards the meeting stones, "remember that you're not alone. I'll fight beside you. My pack stands behind you." The old meeting stones are a circle of massive standing stones in a windswept clearing. The Crimson Brotherhood is already there. 10 wolves, all in human form, all radiating hostility. Their leader is a massive man with scars crisscrossing his face and cold blue eyes. "Grendel," Kieran greets him coolly. "Still hiding behind your Brotherhood, I see." "Still clinging to delusions of grandeur, Blackthorn?" Grendel's gaze shifts to me. "So this is the Blood Moon Wolf. She looks young." "She's your Luna," Kieran says flatly. "Show respect." Grendel laughs. "She'll be my Luna when she earns it. That's why we're here." He gestures to his wolves. "A trial by combat. Your mate against my 5 best fighters. If she wins, we accept her. If she loses," he smiles coldly, "she dies, and you remain mateless for another 300 years. "No," Kieran growls. "One-on-one challenges. That's tradition. Tradition is for normal wolves." Grendel's smile doesn't waver. "Blood Moon wolves claim exceptional power, so they face exceptional tests. It's a trap. 5 against 1, even with my power, is nearly impossible. But if I refuse, I look weak. The Brotherhood will never stop hunting me." "I accept," I say. before Kieran can object. His head whips toward me. Elara, I accept, I repeat firmly. I step forward into the circle. Name your fighters, Grendel. Grendel's wolves move forward, 5 massive males, all experienced fighters. I can smell their confidence. They think this will be easy. They're wrong. The fight begins with a howl. All 5 shift at once, surrounding me. I shift too, my white and red wolf erupting into being. I'm larger than any of them, but numbers are a different kind of strength. They attack in coordination, 2 from the front, 1 from each side, 1 aiming for my hindquarters. I leap straight up, higher than any normal wolf could manage, and come down on the back wolf's spine. He collapses with a yelp. 4 left. The side wolves adjust quickly, both lunging for my throat. I twist, catching one's leg in my jaws and pulling. The sound of bone breaking is sickeningly loud. He falls away, whimpering. 3 left. These 3 are smarter. They don't rush in. They circle, looking for openings. I can see Kieran at the edge of the circle, every muscle tense, fighting not to intervene. Beside him, Maya watches with fierce pride. The wolves feint and dodge, testing my defences. 1 darts in, teeth closing on my shoulder. Pain flares, blood runs hot down my leg. My wolf howls, not in pain, but in fury. Blood moon wolves are strongest when they bleed. When their blood hits the earth, power erupts from me like a shockwave. The 3 wolves are thrown backward, skidding across the ground. I don't give them time to recover. I'm on the nearest one, jaws closing around his throat, not killing, just holding. Dominance. He goes limp. Submission. The other 2 try to run. I'm faster. I catch one, pin him. He submits too. The last one faces me alone, panting. He's brave. I'll give him that. He doesn't run. But when I bare my teeth and let my eyes blaze red, when I let the full weight of my power press down on him, he folds, belly to the ground, throat exposed. Silence falls over the clearing. I shift back to human form, standing in the centre of the circle, bloody but victorious. Anyone else? I call out. Grendel's face is rigid with fury. This proves nothing. It proves everything, Kieran interrupts, moving to my side. His arm slides around my waist, supporting. She beat your 5 best fighters, alone. She's more than worthy to be Luna. She's a danger, Grendel spits. She'll upset the balance. The balance you mean is your power, I cut in. My voice carries, strong and clear. You're afraid. Afraid that Blood Moon wolves will challenge the hierarchies you've built, the systems that keep Omegas at the bottom and Alphas at the top. I step toward him. You're right to be afraid, because I won't tolerate those systems. I won't let Omega wolves be dismissed or broken. I won't let power be determined by birth alone. Murmurs ripple through the assembled wolves, brotherhood and neutral witnesses alike. The goddess made Blood Moon wolves for a reason, I continue, to remind you that true strength comes in many forms, that compassion and healing are as vital as dominance and violence. I let my eyes flash red. I am Luna of the Northern Territories. I am Blood Moon risen, and I will protect every wolf under my rule, Omega to Alpha. For a long moment, no one moves. Then, slowly, one of Grendel's own fighters, the one whose leg I broke, shifts back and drops to one knee. I accept you, Luna, he says. Another follows, then another, until all 5 fighters are kneeling before me and Grendel stands alone. You'll regret this, he snarls, but he's backing away, defeated. If you threaten my mate or my pack again, Kieran says quietly, danger in every word. You won't live to regret anything. Grendel flees into the forest, and the Crimson Brotherhood scatters. I sway, suddenly exhausted. Kieran catches me, holding me against his chest. You were incredible, he murmurs. My fierce, perfect mate. I hurt, I admit. I know. Let's get you home. As he carries me toward the horses, I see the witnesses bowing, showing respect, and I realise that everything really has changed. I'm not the Hollow Wolf anymore. I'm the Luna who redefined what it means to be powerful. Act 8. The New World. 3 weeks later, on the winter solstice, we hold our claiming ceremony. The great hall of Obsidian Citadel is packed with wolves from every territory. Alphas and Omegas, Betas and Deltas, all come to witness the Shadow King claim his blood moon mate. The air smells of pine boughs and spiced wine and hope. I wear a gown the colour of moonlight, with my mother's pendant at my throat. Maya stands beside me, beaming with pride. Vera has tears in her eyes. Kieran waits at the end of the long aisle, dressed in black and silver, looking like some dark prince from a fairy tale. When our eyes meet, the mate bond hums between us, gold and bright and unbreakable. The ceremony is beautiful. We speak the old vows, exchange blood oaths, let the pack witness our bond. When Kieran bites my throat, marking me as his, pleasure and power surge through me in equal measure. When I mark him in return, I hear his wolf howl with joy. Luna Elara Blackthorn, the officiant announces, blood moon risen, queen of the northern territories. The pack erupts in howls and cheers. That night, after the feast and dancing, Kieran and I finally retreat to our chambers. The mate bond is complete now. No more barriers, no more hesitation. Just him and me, and the love we've built from ashes and blood. He carries me to bed, and when he lays me down on silk sheets, his eyes are blazing silver. My Luna, he breathes. My mate. My love. Yours, I agree. Only yours. The claiming is gentle and fierce by turns, worship and wildness woven together. When we finally lie tangled and sated in the aftermath, I trace the mark on his throat, my teeth imprinted in his skin, claiming him just as he claimed me. Do you ever regret it? I ask softly. 300 years of waiting? Kieran turns his head to meet my eyes. Not for a single moment, because they led me to you. He kisses my forehead. You're worth every year, every lonely night, every battle. You're worth everything, Elara. Warmth blooms in my chest. I love you. I love you too, more than I thought I could love anything. We drift towards sleep wrapped in each other, and for the first time in my life, I feel completely whole. Not broken, not hollow, just complete. In the months that follow, we implement changes. I establish healing centres in every pack territory, places where Omega Wolves can learn their gifts and be valued for their compassion. We create new laws protecting the vulnerable, giving voice to those who've been silenced. Silvercrest thrives under Elder Sarah's leadership. Maya visits often, delighted by her sister's transformation. Even the Crimson Brotherhood's fighters who knelt before me seek to join our pack, drawn by the promise of a better way. One evening, a year after my first shift, I stand in the garden Vera helped me plant, full of my mother's favourite herbs and flowers. Kieran finds me there, wrapping his arms around my waist from behind. What are you thinking about? He murmurs against my hair. I lean back into his warmth. I'm thinking about how I used to believe I was broken, how I couldn't see that I was just waiting for the right moment, the right person to help me bloom. You bloomed all on your own, he says. I just gave you the space to do it. I turn in his arms, smiling up at him. You bled yourself half to death for me. That's a little more than giving space. He grins, that rare, beautiful expression that makes him look centuries younger. Minor detail. The moon rises above us, a regular full moon tonight, but I don't need blood moons anymore to feel my wolf. She's always there now, strong and sure, part of me. I was thinking, Kieran says carefully, that this citadel is rather large for just the two of us. My heart skips. What are you saying? I'm saying that I'd very much like to have children with you, little wolves with your compassion and my stubbornness. His hand settles over my stomach, warm and possessive. If that's something you want. Joy floods through me. Yes, goddess, yes. He kisses me then, deep and claiming, and I know that this is just the beginning. There will be challenges ahead, there always are, but we'll face them together, the Blood Moon Luna and her Shadow King, partners in every way that matters. 5 years ago, I stood in a shifting arena, believing I was the hollow wolf, believing I was broken beyond repair. But I wasn't hollow. I was just waiting to be filled with purpose, with power, with love. And here, in Kieran's arms, with my pack around me and my future stretching bright ahead, I am everything I was always meant to be. I am whole, I am home, I am finally beautiful.